Okay, Flosstube, we are on. We are back to our weekly updates. It is Tuesday, May 5th at 9:41 a.m. Coming to you a little early. Not much has happened since yesterday. It was a gorgeous day here in Maryland. Looks like it's going to be another gorgeous day. Got some time just knitting and stitching out on the pool deck. Got a couple workouts in, some laps in the pool. I was very sore, so I only did yoga this morning. So yeah, I'm going to have a relaxing day. Mike and I are going out for dinner and a movie this evening, and it's going to be a good day. Let's see. So yesterday I showed you my haul, or my Stitch Mania overview, my wrap up. I don't have any finishes, of course, or fully finished objects. The whips I'm going to be showing you are going to be basically what you saw yesterday with a little bit of progress, so that's cool. So we'll see how long this is. I don't know. I have a little bit of haul, a little bit of whips. The beginning of this one, I put a slideshow of Antelope Slot Canyon, which is outside of Page, Arizona, which is in northern Arizona, not too far from the Utah border. We went there on an RV trip. We did a Southwest RV trip in, I believe it was our 2013. Might have been summer 2014. One of those, I think 2013. We were in Florida at that point. We went across the Panhandle of Florida, which, let me tell you, Florida is a big state. It might be skinny, but it's long, and going out that Panhandle, it's a drive. So we went out, went across over into New Orleans. We love New Orleans. Been there multiple times. Continued on into Texas, stopped in Houston and saw some friends, continued across the huge state of Texas, and then into New Mexico, which flat and lots of barren open spaces. Stopped at the caverns. Can't remember the name of the caverns. Stopped there, and then met up with Mike's parents in Tucson, and did Tucson and Phoenix, and then went up north to Page, and then over to Santa Fe. It was a wonderful trip. But anyways, Antelope Slot Canyon, gorgeous, amazing natural rock formation. So I hope you enjoyed that. Little bit different than what I showed you on my last update Flosstube, which was Mount Desert Island in Maine, basically the other side of the country. So you're going to be jumping all over this great country of ours as I show you my photos. Let's see. So I wanted to shout out some Flosstubers, mostly new to me, but not necessarily new to Flosstube. I'm going to put on my little reading glasses so I can actually read and not squint. Okay, we're going to start with Doodlebug Stitcher. She is a fairly new Flosstuber, but she's been mentioned by a lot of you. I really liked what she did for Mania. She only did like 15, 16 new starts, and then for the first half of the month, and then went through them again for the second half of the month. So I kind of like that. I think she probably got a lot done on the different things. We have very similar tastes. I really liked her projects, and she also showed in her last videos some really pretty fabrics she got for both finishing projects and for project bags. The next one, Hobbies Up to Here. This is one that Michelle Garrett, Bendy Stitchy, mentioned in one of her recent videos. This is Katie V and her mom Dory. They are not new to Flosstube. They have had a quilting channel for a long time. The quilts that they do are just masterpieces, very, very interesting pieces. They decided to start doing Flosstube videos. Dory, the mother, has been stitching for a number of years, and Katie is just new. So it's interesting to have that kind of back and forth of just learning to stitch and new to stitch. So the kind of projects they're doing are really pretty. Again, another great vibe, a great mother-daughter duo that you can tell they just really enjoy each other's company, and so they were a real pleasure to watch. This third one is a very interesting one. It's called Cute Little Stitch. She's actually speaking in one of the Arabic languages. Something, I think, actually looking back through her video, she's not new. She might be in Turkey, so she might be actually be speaking Turkish. Although the writing isn't Arabic, it's not in, I think Turkish is written in Roman letters. Anyways, I'm wearing a microphone and I think I just covered it, so sorry. I just found it interesting. Couldn't understand pretty much anything except words like cross stitch, finishing, biscornu, you know, those kind of cognates, English cognates. But I just found it rather fascinating. Oh, and the one I watched, she showed how to finish a box, a project, and mount it on a box. And I just found it interesting and heartwarming that no matter what culture we're from, what background we're from, when we love cross-stitching, when we do this, even though we aren't speaking the same language, we are speaking the same language. I had no trouble following along. Her project was really pretty. And so I just think it's a note of encouragement in today's world that we are more similar in ways than we are different. And I espouse that theory, not a theory, that notion. I don't know. You know what I'm saying. So I cross my stitches, or no, I'm sorry, cute little stitch. So I encourage you to find her. I'll be linking all these down below in the show notes. All right, the next one is cross my stitches though. Her name is Jackie. Let's see, again, more great finishes and projects. She has done some fabric dyeing, and she talked about her process. I think she used Rit dye, and she just made it sound so easy that I'm starting to think, I might want to do that. I wonder how easy it is to get Rit dye in Hawaii. Maybe I should take a bunch of white linen with me. So, yeah, wheels are turning there. Let's see, she also is very handy with her silhouette cutter thingy, and she shows a lot of projects that she's done with that, so, and really cool stuff, everything from banners to t-shirts to mugs. I mean, just amazing all the things you can do with that kind of equipment. And to top it off, she has an RV, and I believe she said that sometime this week she is going to be doing a video in her RV, so I'm really looking forward to that. The last two, let's see, I have two more. One is both a knitter and a stitcher, so very similar to what I'm doing. Her name is Joanna. Her channel is Stitching the High Notes. She is an opera singer for with the San Francisco Symphony. So she talks a little bit about that. She shows her knitting projects. She was a stitcher before she was a knitter, just like me. And so I think she's another one that's kind of reigniting her love for stitching. She kind of found knitting because it was easier to carry knitting with her and pick up projects whenever she was in between rehearsals and sets and that kind of thing. But again, really pretty projects and finishes. And then the last one is totally a knitter. She is called Ninja Chickens. I did not write down her real name. She does videos mostly, well, at this time of year outside. She's in the mountains of North Carolina. Beautiful. She did one, she had just gotten back from a trip. This last one that I watched, she'd just gotten back from a trip from Edisto Beach, North Carolina, and talked about the history of that area, which I found fascinating. Like I said, she's mostly knitting, but she does dyeing, natural dyeing with natural fibers, and something called echo printing. So taking scarves, I don't know whether they were silk or something else, I think some of them were silk, and also sock blanks, and taking leaves and flowers, and you roll the material up around all that, and there's a whole process to get those natural materials to imprint on the fabric, and that was really interesting. So that is Ninja Chickens. I will link her below as well. Let's see, a couple bits of news. The Eliza Bell Cox Sal started on June 1st, so we're starting to see people stitching on that. I'm not taking part in that. I did buy the floss pack and the material from Nancy from Victorian Motto Sampler Shop. I'll be showing that here in a second. The other thing, I want you to go and check out, listen to Deb and Liz, Country Stitcher's most recent Flosstube. They might have put another one up since then. They're prolific. But I think it says something about stitching soiree. They want to do a stitching round robin, and they have it all planned out, and they give all the details. They gave the beginning details, and then they're going to follow up in their next video with more details. But they're interested. They want people to let them know if they're interested in this. So a stitching round robin hosted by Country Stitchers Deb and Liz. So again, I will link that video, specific video, below, not just their channel. So that's it for the news that I have right now. Like I said, no finishes, no FFOs. I'm hoping that as the next few weeks go by, that I'll get a lot of these little pieces, my Stitch Mania projects, finished, and then hopefully finally finished. We shall see. But whips, so like I said, some of these you saw yesterday in my Stitch Mania roundup, but I did work on my Lizzie Kate yesterday. This was my out on the pool deck project. So yesterday when I showed it, I didn't have the scarf all done, and I just had basically up here done. So I got the scarf done, and I'm starting on Mr. Snowman down below. So that was a good little bit of stitching just for the afternoon. So he's a handsome guy. I will be working on him again today. And then, let's see, where do I put stuff? Not nearly as big a pile as yesterday with my Stitch Mania wrap-up. Harbor Haven, I did show you this yesterday, but for those who might not have watched the Stitch Mania wrap-up, this is where I am on Harbor Haven. I actually didn't get this picked up yesterday. I hope to get a chunk done on it today. I hope to get the tree done today. So working on part 6, part 7 will be out on the 10th. So in just a couple days. Love it, love it, love it, love it. This is 36 count linen. I believe it's Crossed Wing collection. The more I go on, the more I'm pretty sure that it's actually a Crossed Wing collection linen that I got years ago. And the reason I think that is because I actually have one of the Crossed Wing collection patterns. It's the big one that's like wildflowers with birds and butterflies on top. And I bet you I got them together at some show, you know, in the 90s. And here they sit. So perfect for this. So 36 count linen, 1/1 for that one. Now the one that I didn't show yesterday, and this also has a little bit of a stitchy kindness, so I'm not going to talk about that just yet, but I will pull out Sally Spencer. I worked on this a little bit Saturday, so this is the stitch along that several different people are doing. Birds of a Feather, Sally Spencer sampler. And of course I have thread floating around in it because I don't have a Bitsy Bob for it. So that's where I am on that. This is Confederate Gray linen by, I believe it's Weeks Dye Works. 36 count, 1/2. I have pretty much changed all of my colors. The thing that drew me to this, I'm not a big sampler person. I've mentioned that before. This is a very different type of sampler. I love the whimsical ofness. I love the unevenness of it. I just think this is a really, really cool piece. But I didn't like how kind of red, white, and blue it is. I didn't want it to be necessarily to have a patriotic tone. And also I just wanted to use what I had on hand, especially my Victorian mottos. So I switched out, keeping the tones pretty much the same. Just switched them out a bit, and I'm really happy with it. And what I'm doing is, for all of my Flosstube videos from here on out, I will be putting show notes on my blog. So I will have a complete list of the colors that I've used on my blog so people can access that easily. And my blog is madforyarn.com, but I will also link that below. And as I mentioned yesterday, I'm going to have the latter half of the Stitch Mania videos on there, but I won't have all the beginning ones on there because I'm not going to spend that time. So my other whips, my knitting whips. I have started the Cowl project that we talked about, the swatch and the beads. That was this that I did during Stitch Mania. This is a yak silk merino blend yarn. Kettle Yarn Company is the company, and it is their Bayul singles. And these are the beads that I've chosen to use because I did want the ones that would stand out the most, because the pattern just has them really scattered through. So, oh goodness gracious, hold on. I got to start on that. And you can see I'm just now working on the row that has the beads, and they're actually blending in. There's one that has more of a greenish tint. They're blending in a little bit more. There you can see them some more. Just depends on what type of the iridescent finish is showing. So we have a fisherman's rib to start with, and then a 3 knit 3 purl back and forth up here with the beads scattered, and then there's going to be kind of a wrap stitch. I don't have a good way to show you a picture without digging, and you've seen it before, so I'm not going to do that to you. I am keeping my yarn, I don't know whether you've ever seen this. This is kind of an alternative for a yarn bowl. It's plastic. It has the little openings here. This is called a Yarn-It. Laura had mentioned that because this yarn does have the yak and the silk in it, it's a more delicate, it will be easily abraded, easily pilled. So I was going to keep it in my project bag, but I thought keeping it in the plastic bowl might keep it from being abraded a little bit more than it would in a fabric pouch. Now the fabric pouch, my project bag, is actually one that I got from a Good Yarn. It is a pattern, fabric that's exclusive to them. It's a Bink waffle bag, and a Good Yarn has worked a lot with the Bink waffle people to create several bags with fabric that's exclusive to their store. So this has the little fishies. Inside it has a stripe. This pouch was made specially for the attendees of the Good Yarn retreat in 2017. 2017, it was the year we left. So, last year. Isn't it pretty? And it's just a little one skein project bag. Has a nice handle on it. So that is that. Let's see, the other whip, I'm wearing it. That's why I have this kind of funny looking thing on right now. So this is the sweater that I'm test knitting for Kat Buckmuller. She's the gal that I worked with at the store who is now designing. This pattern is not up on Ravelry yet. It is called the Mabel Pullover. And this is the one that I didn't have enough of one color to do the whole thing. So let me pull out a picture. That picture I think is easy to get to, although I may have to go back a bit. Hold on, just look at the beautiful knitting for a while. Don't mind my little waste yarn. Isn't it pretty colors? I'm really happy with the way the colors are playing together. So even though it's not necessarily what she called for in the pattern, I think it's going to work. I'm getting there. I must be getting there. Boy, I have a lot of cross-stitch patterns in here, or cross-stitch pictures. Was it before sheep and wool? Oh yes, because I consider the possibility of getting different yarn at sheep and wool. Okay, so that is what the sweater will look like. She's much taller and skinnier than I am. So I finished the body last night. You can see, don't mind my cord here from my microphone, you can see the bottom is a reverse stockinette. It has these pretty little wedges that are supposed to hit at the hip. Of course, this hasn't been blocked, so it's really rolling. But I'm very pleased with it so far. It's very comfortable. And it will gain some length after I block it, once it stretches out some. So next what I have to do is, of course, put the sleeve stitches back on the needles. So the sleeves will start out, oh, I meant to bring in the rest of my ball of yarn. I have about that much. I have 47 grams left of the dark color. So what I need to do is take that ball that I have left and split it in two so that I have equal amounts for each sleeve. And so, shoot, I shouldn't have taken that picture down. So what she has done is the collar and the cuffs are held together with a strand of mohair. And so I have this color up here and the mohair to match that will be the collar and the cuffs. So I'm going to be knitting down in the main color, the dark color, and then once I run out of that amount for the sleeve, then I'll switch over to this color with the mohair, and then I'll need to pick up the stitches around the collar and knit in this color with the mohair to create the collar. Now, I don't know how long that will make the sleeves. They will be as long as they are with the yarn I have left. I'm hoping to at least get 3/4 length, and I think I should with the collar, with the amount of yarn I have left and the cuff. So that is that, and I am very pleased, like I said, with how the colors are playing together when they're not being washed out by the light. This is by a dyer named Julie Spins. Her Etsy shop is Julie Spins. She is one of my favorite indie dyers. I have a lot of Julie Spins yarn in my stash. I'll link her shop below. The dark color is actually from a company called Saffron Dye Works. She no longer dyes yarn, unfortunately, because before Julie Spins, when Saffron Dye Works was in business, that was my favorite yarn, indie dyer. I really appreciate people that do sophisticated colorways, that really know how to make colors blend and take on new depth. That's what really appeals to me with yarn. And so both of those companies are just spectacular in that way. So that is that. This is knit in the round. This was on probably a size 5 needle. I don't remember. I don't have the needles here with me. So, and my cowl, the pattern calls for size 3 needles and size 5 needles. I'm using size 5s and size 7s because with Laura's patterns, I always go up 2 needle sizes. I think I've mentioned that before. I also wanted to mention this is her latest project from her subscription club. It's called the N Club. I believe she has sign-ups starting in like September or October. I will link her website below if you're interested. I will be showing what else came with that club kit. And if you're interested, you can get on her newsletter so you can be sure you're informed of when the sign-ups for that start. I highly recommend it. I'll talk more about that in a bit. Okay, so that is the whips. So we are going to move on to haul. Well, let me start first with this. This is actually Stitchy Kindness. So this is from Misty Purcell of Luminous Fiber Arts. She made me a project bag. Look at that pretty fabric. And do you think she knew that I like turquoise? Look how gorgeous that is. I just love everything about this. The colors, the script, the inner lining. It's just beautiful. And it's, of course, it's holding Sally Spencer. Thank you, Misty. I love it. And she has little tags with her name on it. Isn't that awesome? Love it, love it, love it. It has pride of place, and it's not even too fuzzy yet. Furry, I guess I should say. I'm keeping the cats away from it. Okay, let's see. So Eliza Bell Cox, as I mentioned, I am not doing the stitch along. It's just not my style. But I did want to get the flosses because I love the Victorian Motto flosses, and the fabric because I wanted to see what Nancy's fabrics were like. So this is not all of the flosses, and I know you've seen them in other places. I've actually put some of the flosses in, June, my Prairie Schooler June, the last start for the Stitch Mania. But yeah, they're really pretty, just gorgeous colors. They are not as variegated or even necessarily tonal as her colors usually are. She has all of them with the DMC equivalent on them, so I think she wanted to keep them less variegated and tonal because this is for a sampler, and so I think you want the more pure colors for the sampler. Now her fabric, this was a 40 count fabric. It's I believe it's an 18 by 17. No, it's more than that. I forget the dimensions. This is a 40 count. Let me see if I can. That's a pretty true color. A really pretty yellowy creamy with very light modeling. That's pretty good there. So I haven't worked out the dimensions yet, but I think this will work perfectly for my Las Gonzales sampler. I won't be starting that until next year. I have to look and see if, I believe 40 count is the right count. Actually, the 18 by 17 came from, that's the dimensions I need for Las Gonzales. So let's see what we have here. And the edges are just perfectly serged. They're wonderful. So this is a 18-inch ruler. So that's 18 the short way. So this will work perfectly for Las Gonzales, and I think the colors are great. Las Gonzales, like I said, I'm not going to start till next year. I showed that a few videos ago. I'm not going to try and pull out the chart. I am going to use silks, and so my plan is to buy a few silks every month to get what I need for that. All right, so there's that. The Laura Nelkins Club stuff. So yes, I used it before we started, before I showed it to you. Oh well, I needed to start. So this is a picture of the cowl. And she sends a postcard with every club kit that has all the information about what we're getting, what we can expect, how we're going to get the pattern, and her business information. In this particular, she always sends all kinds of goodies. So, of course, the yarn. She gave us a thing of tea. She also included a stroopwafel. That is Mike's. It is not gluten-free, so I can't have it, but Mike enjoyed that. And then she included this little muslin bag, and in the bag is this little keychain, which has a ruler on it, which you can undo. So you have a little ruler handy. It is by I Love Handles, and so that's a nice leather. And then she included this little tool that, as you can see, I've not taken out yet, and so there's going to be some crinkly wrapping paper here. I tried to avoid that. And so it's a little, again, keychain type of thing with hooks to help you. This would be good for provisional cast on, 3 crochet hooks in 3 different sizes, and a handy travel. So this would actually go in my little travel kit, which I still have in here. So the little travel kit that she sent us is one of our goodies. This would be fit perfectly in here. So good for provisional cast on, good for when you drop a stitch, all of those kind of things that we use crochet hooks for in our knitting. So fits perfectly in my little travel kit. That goes in there. Okay, last bit of haul. Actually, I'm going to save the best for last. I did buy a few things from 123 Stitch, and let me tell you, so I've talked to you before about the fact that I have an allowance, a monthly allowance, and that it is a more than generous allowance. Somehow I always manage to go through my more than generous allowance very quickly. In fact, what are we? We are on the 5th of June. I thought I still had some money left, but apparently I've already gone through my allowance for June. And we're only on the 5th. Much sadness. There's still some things I have to get. And I told dear husband that there are still some things I'm going to be getting this month. It's bad. It's bad, people. I've got to stop. I don't need anything else. But anyways, I placed this order, and this is part of why I'm no longer have anything left. So I needed more tux bags, so I got some more tux bags. Eliza Bell Cox, Nancy's other monthly clubs that come. I should be getting those pretty soon too. So I needed more of those. I got a Mill Hills kit. I might have done some Mill Hill kits a long time ago, but I don't currently have any in my stash. So I got this handsome guy, Believe, and of course the perforated paper, all the beads, the little button, all the flosses. I'll be working on this in Christmas, in July, for Christmas in July. I think he's so cute. Struck me. I wonder if he's supposed to be a bell snickle. I don't know, but he's cute. I got some more fabric. This is, where's the tag? There it is. This is 36 count Tycho, Edinburgh, Tycho, I don't know how to pronounce that. I wanted to see what this fabric, what the dye looked like. I don't remember whether this is Picture This. I think this is Picture This Plus. No, maybe it's Lakeside. I don't remember. But anyway, I really wanted to see what this looked like in person. And it's a very interesting, that's showing up pretty good there. It's a very light, creamy yellow with gray modeling through it. It's really pretty. Don't know what I'm going to use it for, but I'm sure I will find something in no time at all. That just came yesterday. Got 2 charts as well, since I seem to be all of a sudden on a Prairie Schooler kick. I got this one, Measure of a Year. Misty Purcell asked, she was having a giveaway on one of her recent videos, and she asked what her question was, what our favorite type of patterns were to stitch. It's really hard for me to say because I like so many different styles. I'm a very eclectic knitter, I think. Stitcher. There are definitely things I don't like, but there's a wide range of things I do. And I think one of the main things is seasons and months. There's something about I don't even know what words to use, the neatness of it, the blocking off of it. I don't know. There's something about the orderliness of it. Anything that has blocks just seems to really appeal to me. I bumped my microphone again. I hope that didn't make a noise. But anyways, Measure of a Year, Prairie Schooler. I will probably, I'm going to be doing this one, not that one. I will probably change a lot of the colors. What a surprise. And I will definitely be using over-dyed flosses, hand-dyed flosses, because I mean these big chunks of color are just screaming for over-dyeds. The pattern calls for DMC. No, I'll be using over-dyeds, and I'll probably make them less autumnal looking. I mean, this, even though it's about the different seasons, it's just too too much gold. So I don't know when I'll be doing it, but yeah, that's my plan. And then the other one I got is this little guy, Flag 1998 by Bent Creek. I just think that's really pretty. That calls for mostly over-dyeds. So that is all my little bits and pieces of stash now, or haul. I want to talk about a very special thing I got. Yesterday, I mentioned multiple times in my Stitch Mania wrap-up about the Bitsy Bob. What is a Bitsy Bob? Bitsy Bob is made by Kelly Stadola of That's So Kelly, the Joan and Kelly show. And it is a way to keep your flosses organized as you're working on them, as you're working on a project. So inside, this is felt. And so, and underneath here is a magnet. And so when you get out a piece of floss and you've stripped off what you need, the ones that you have left, you can just roll up and put on the felt. And as you can see, it doesn't come off. So that's why every single time I picked up a project yesterday and it had a bit of floss hanging that fell on the floor, fell on my fur covered floor, that got caught on my clothes. This is why I want a Bitsy Bob in all of my projects, because all of those little bits and pieces then will be captured in here. I have whatever flosses that I have currently in the works and wrapped up on here, I'm going to put in this little pocket, this clear pocket here, so that I'm not confused about which flosses I currently have out. The magnet I'm using as a needle minder. I stitch in hand. I own no needle minders. I don't know how I would use a needle minder since I stitch in hand. This is perfect. The other thing I was really thrilled to see though is these are my main scissors. I always keep them in the leather cover. And I didn't know whether there would be enough of the metal showing to hold against the magnet. Whoops, they're a little too heavy to do that, but yeah, they're going to keep sliding because I'm trying to show you upright. And of course that needle's on there and that doesn't help. Boy, that's a strong magnet. You get over there. So my needles, or my scissors, stay there as well. So this stays on the arm of my chair, of the couch where I'm sitting. It stays in my project bag. This is my first one. I have another one in order that should be coming today. My plan is, all right, finish one thought first. So put my working needle on there, close it up. Nice little snaps to hold it all together. Those little bits of floss aren't going anywhere because they are stuck on the floss. And then this goes in my project bag. I have another one coming today. My plan is to buy one a month until I probably have 5. I think that's a good number. Kind of one in all of my currently active whips. I think that's good. Kelly updates her shop. I believe her schedule is going to be Fridays at 3 p.m. Central Time with her new Bitsy Bobs. She is having a hard time keeping them in stock. I truly believe this is a brilliant idea. Brilliant. And you need one. You do. Take my word for it. I just think it's a brilliant way to keep all those flosses, and having those all. So because I do use the Tucks bags, let me get one of these out here. Because I do use these, before, when I would finish using a piece of floss, I'd strip off the flosses that I need, whether it's 1 or 2 strands, and then I'd twirl it back up and I'd stick it back in here. Now I don't have to stick it back in here, I just twirl it up and put it on the felt. I think that's going to save me time, and so the next time when I need another strand, if I'm still working that same color and I need another strand, I just need to pick it up off the felt. I don't need to fish this back up, open it, get it out, roll it back up, stick it back in, close it. I think it's going to save some time that way. Yeah, I think it's going to be a time saver, and I think it's brilliant. One other thing, totally separate, different subject that I wanted to mention. Somebody asked me a few videos back about my Tucks bags. So this is what they look like. They have holes, 2 holes on the top, a hole on the bottom. The floss, I usually bring the end of the floss through here so I can just pull it out and cut it off. You can see it holds quite a bit. This bag has 4 skeins in it. But somebody asked me a few videos ago if I felt that the Ziploc closure was working okay. Apparently they had used to use them a while ago, and the Ziploc part kept coming open. I'm going to see if you can hear this. It is secure. It's not falling open at all. It closes easily. It drops easily. And it's very secure. So, again, a great compact way to store flosses. I'm glad I found these. This is a good way. So anyways, Bitsy Bob, Kelly Stadola, that's So Kelly on Etsy. I will be linking her as well. But make sure once a month you save, like the beginning of every month, you save one for me, because I need more. Let me look at my notes. I think that's everything. But, Life after mania. Is there life after mania? That is the question. Yes, there is. So my plan, I think I mentioned this a little bit yesterday. I will be working consistently every day on Harbor Haven so that I can get caught up on that, because I'm definitely going to stay caught up on that so I can finish at the end of the year and get that framed. When I'm caught up, I find that takes a week to 10 days to do a section. When that is each section is finished, I will be turning as my big daily project the Modern Folk Embroidery one, the 4 Seasons Mystery Stitch Along. I don't expect to ever get caught up on that, but I do want to stay with it. I'd like to get that finished by the end of the year, which would mean I was caught up. So we'll see. My small projects, I don't know whether you just saw a kitty fuzzy go floating by. This is my life. Small projects. Every day I'll be working on one of the small projects, my small Stitch Mania projects, so I can get those done. And once the smaller ones are done, I'll just keep moving along to the bigger and the bigger and the bigger. I'm still trying to decide if I want to make different days, different things, kind of like Priscilla does. Like make one day a week my hoity-toity day. One day a week my, I already have Sally Spencer on Saturday and my Chatelaine on Sunday. So in order for those other ones not to be ignored, I want to fit them into the schedule somehow. Yet I still want to make sure I'm doing Harbor Haven, Modern Folk Embroidery, and the smaller ones as well. So yeah, I'm still, and plus there's the knitting. I obviously need more hours in my day. Or I need to stop eating and sleeping. I think I'm working on the not sleeping part. Anyways, guys, I think that's it for today. I'm going to put this back in my Bitsy Bob so I don't forget where it belongs, because that's a thing. That is all I have for you today. I'm at 45 minutes, so I'm definitely glad I split my Stitch Mania and this into 2 separate ones. I will be back. Let's see, this week, it's a busy week. Tomorrow I'm going to stitch with some friends. Thursday, is today Tuesday? Wednesday I'm going to stitch with some friends. Thursday I have a hair appointment, so I'll be getting the blue put back in, getting this shag cut. And more blue. I'm gonna go richer this time. Friday we go to visit my friend in Pennsylvania who's on hospice. We haven't made it up there yet, but Friday is the next date. Saturday I don't think of anything. Sunday I go down to the DC group stitching meetup, and I'm really excited to do that. There's a bunch of new people coming. Not a bunch, maybe 4 or 5, maybe not 5, 3 or 4. Let's not exaggerate, Jan. That heard about it on my channel, and so I think that's pretty cool, and I'm excited about that. But I will try and do a stitch with me. It's probably going to be Thursday morning, because Friday will be, unless it's the afternoon that we're going up there. I don't know. Probably Thursday morning I'll be doing a stitch with me. So, and I may work on that silk gauze piece. Does that sound exciting? With a backup, just in case it's not too exciting. Anyways, I'm done rambling. I will see you guys Thursday. Have a great few days. Stitch it. Stitch whatever you can, whenever you can. Do whatever brings you joy. Love you guys, and I will see you Thursday. Bye-bye.